Student loan time. Woo! Hey everyone, my name's Abby, and we're gonna be talking about student loans. I don't know if this is a good intro. Like, do I start with my name? The topic that I'm talking about? Ranting about it? I don't know. There's different ways to start a video, and I really don't know how to start a video. I'm going to talk about some student loan stuff, specifically in Alberta, in Canada. Show you how I'm going to be paying back my student loans and what I've learned over just kind of like researching a bit during this COVID-19 pandemic.
Coronavirus!
Start off with a poll that I put out on my Instagram. My Instagram is at Abby Lacson, or this way. I don't know which way. This way. This video is going to be like video games stuff. So from the questions that I asked on my Instagram story, there were 4 different questions. I asked about like what faculty everyone was from, people how much debt they had, if they wanted to disclose it, was do people have help paying it back, do parents have savings for you, did you have savings for yourself, and then the last question was did you understand student loans, like do you have a plan, you don't really understand, are you avoiding it, same. From each story, as you go further down, there's not a lot of participants. It went from 209 people to 120 people. I should have specified, so not the best data set, but I'm just showing you anyways so you can see what came out of it. So that's the analytics I got from Instagram from the 4 questions that I asked. Starting at the very top level of about student loans. It gets split up into 2 categories, which is the Alberta and the Canadian student loan. And then both of them have 2 interest rate options, which can be either fixed or a floating rate. And then for the fixed rate, they both have 2%, while the floating rate has a 1% and a 0% for Alberta and Canadian respectively. And then what you need to know for the prime rate, it's determined by the 3 remaining averaged of the 5 major banks' prime rate, whereas CIBC states the prime rate for the Alberta student loans. We're gonna get into interest rates. So all you have to do is just search up Alberta interest rate student aid, the first website that pops up. Here it just has everything you need to know about the interest rates for a student loan. There are 2 types of student loan interest rates, either a fixed rate or a floating rate. Both applies to your provincial and federal loan. One thing to note is also that the fixed rate and the floating rate are based on the prime rate. So the meaning of a prime rate just means the interest rate that a bank or a bunch of banks say that their interest rate is if you took out a loan or mortgage, something like that. Something where you borrow money from the bank. So for Alberta, we take the prime rate or the interest rate that CIBC currently posts. And then for the Canadian student loan, it takes the 5 major Canadian banks prime rate and then takes out the highest prime rate and the lowest prime rate and just takes the average of the 3 in the middle. And as I said before, there are 2 types of student loan interest rates, either a fixed rate or a floating rate. For the fixed rate, it's as it sounds, it's a rate that you use for the entire period that you're paying off your student loan. Your floating rate, it's a bit different. It also means variable rate as well. So your prime rate changes accordingly to each month. It usually doesn't fluctuate a ton, but there are the risks of like paying maybe more interest one month than the other month because the rate changed. I just made just a visual of like a year with all the months written inside. So for the fixed one, if you started on March, right now it's 2.95% for the prime rate. Now this prime rate is what you're going to be using the entire year and actually the entire period of your payment. And then while for your floating rate, let's say we start at March, so it says that it's 2.95%, but you don't know, maybe in April it changes to 3, or in May it changes to 2.9, June 3.2, June maybe it stays at 3.2 again, and then drops or fluctuates and keeps going. Now, that's the only hassle with a floating rate, and you'll just have to consider that when you start paying off your student loan. Move on to actually how I'm going to be paying my student loans and how you can use an estimator. I'll go through my student loans with you. I just search up Canada student loans in Google, and then I just scroll down until I find Alberta student aid. Log in on the right side. If you want my SIN number, just personally message me, I'll give it to you. Now your student aid account. Here, this is where you can apply for your student loans. You can see your previous applications. You can find student aid resources on the right-hand side. This is super important with all the important links. Most of the time, I took out money for my tuition and then also for living. So that includes, you know, like food, going out, lashes if you're an ABG like me. You like to shop, also me. Also my car, I love my car. Open up the correspondence. For this one here, it says that I took out $9,000 for the winter semester, split into two different loans, the Alberta one and the Canadian one. And then when you open up the student award letter, it says that I took out $3,570 from the Canada student loan, and then I have $3,930 for the Alberta student loan. And then I just compiled all my semesters that I had taken out money. You can see it seems like there is a habit where the Canada student loan takes a maximum of $3,570, and then for my Alberta student loan, it has just a difference of how much ever I took out that semester, etc. You can see that there are two different totals. So for my Canada student loan, I have $21,420. Alberta student loan has $19,065. Adding this together, $40,485. Luckily, my parents actually save up money for me for my education. They told me that they would be able to pitch in for all my tuition fees for the 6 semesters that I have here listed. My total actual tuition fees, it was $19K. All that's left for me to pay is the $21,485 out of my pocket. It could be worse. It could be better, so forth, but you know what? Education is important investment to me. You know, I want to go to space. Most astronauts have a bachelor's degree, and even a master's degree is preferred. I have to get there someday, but I do want to start working as soon as possible. Move into actually estimating what kind of payments you're gonna make, how long it might take you, differences between having the fixed rate, the floating rate, what affects like your student loan payments. If you go scroll down the interest rate Alberta Student Aid website, you'll see that you can actually click either on like this link here or this one here. It brings you to the Government of Canada's loan repayment estimator. So you can scroll down, fill out like one option versus another option how you want to pay. For my first option, I'm going to put the amount that I owe. I'm gonna pick float and we'll have it as 2.95. I'm going to start repaying my student loan immediately. I want to pay off my student loan within 5 years, counts for 60 months. For the second option, put the same amount. You're going to pick fixed, paying your student loan immediately, and then also for 60 months as well. Brings to another page and it shows you the results. So this one is floating for the first option and then fixed for the second option. Most important rows that you should pay attention to are like the last 2 rows above like the total amount payable. It'll tell you for each monthly payment how much you need to pay at least to hit that 5-year mark or whatever month period that you said. I just put all the 4 different ways that you could pay off your student loan. Just showing mine here with the preferences that I have. I just ranked it from lowest to highest of the interest payable over the life of your loan. Cheapest option, I would still be having around $1,300 worth of interest. I picked the most expensive option, which also gives me more time to pay it off. I start 6 months after the grace period. I have around $3,000 of interest. Okay, I forgot to make an outro video. I don't know why I didn't. Well, I hope this video was helpful in any kind of way that you didn't know about student loans or maybe not aware about or you weren't familiar with. Disclaimer though, this was my first time looking into what goes behind paying back your student loan. If there's anything wrong or I said anything wrong, please reach out to me on my Instagram. Just DM me. I will just update the video description below about any clarifications if you need. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you like the video and I'm gonna be posting more, consider subscribing. Thank you so much. See you later. Bye.